Your Honor, this is page 94.
2 on my copy.
All right, I don't know why. Anyway, can I ask you to state your full name, please?
My full name is Melanie McNamara.
And your occupation?
And I'm a detective senior constable at Victoria Police.
Now, is it correct, Detective, that you made a statement dated April 2022?
That's correct, Your Honor.
And that was at 10:05 a.m., is that correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
When you made that statement, was it true and correct?
Yes, it is, Your Honor.
Is there a change that you seek to make at paragraph 7?
Yes, spelt only incorrectly. I put AT instead of Y.
Do you want to make that change now?
Yes.
Just a typo, is it?
Yes, Your Honor, that's correct.
Do you want to just make the change with a pen?
Yep. What you're announcing to the court is that you typed T instead of Y, and you seek to make that change. Is that correct?
That's correct, Your Honor. Yes, thank you.
Unless I don't look at we can see it's a typo, and I don't think there's any real need for.
I don't have any problem, for the record.
Total fairness, Your Honor, to the accused.
All right, just if you can just amend.
Yeah, I haven't got a pen though to change it with. And initial it?
Yep, we'll just give you a pen.
There we go.
Thank you, Your Honor.
So just amend it and just put your initials. Thank you.
Are there any other changes that you seek to make?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you. I tendered that statement.
Yes, Mr. Cooksall.
Just 1 minute, Your Honor. I'm making a note. Won't be too long, Your Honor. Just.
That's all right.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, I will actually take Your Honor up on the offer of printing a very small portion of the documents. It's an exchange.
That's all right.
Thank you.
Just email it to my clerk.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Are you able to start before that's printed out or?
Sorry.
Are you able to commence without?
Yes, I will.
All right, so.
But I'm just.
If you email it now and then we can arrange.
Thank you.
For it to be printed while you're.
Thank you. That's.
On the.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Your Honor, is it okay if my associate sends it to Your Honor's associate? The documents that need to be printed? 5-page document.
We have clerks in the magistrate's court rather than associates, but that's fine.
Thank you. I can commence now.
Thank you.
So, I don't need to go next too. If I can stay here when I'm asking questions.
Stay there and my clerk will take that to the witness if you need to.
Your Honor, I wish to tender.
No, you can't just. You need to. You can't just. You need to ask some questions to set that up, Mr. Cooksall.
Okay.
I'm sure. I mean, if you...
No, I know, I'm just. Thank you for coming in, Ms. McNamara. Can I ask you what your involvement in the only proceeding, the current proceeding has been?
I was a corroborator for the recorded interview.
Is that the extent of your involvement in the current proceeding?
I was made aware of it, my statement says. I was made aware of the stolen goods at the Point Cook address. I assisted with faxing documents off to court and then I was present in the recorded interview.
Sorry. Could you repeat that? I couldn't hear what you said before participated in the interview.
Pardon, sorry?
Would you repeat what you said when I asked you if that was the extent of your involvement?
So, I was advised there were stolen goods at the Point Cook address. I assisted in faxing paperwork off to court and I was.
She assisted in faxing paperwork off to court.
Thank you.
And then I was present as the corroborator in the recorded interview.
Okay. You said that you were advised that there was stolen goods at a Point Cook residence.
That's correct, Your Honor.
When were you advised that there were stolen goods at the Point Cook residence?
As my statement states, at 1:24 p.m., I received a phone call.
Which paragraph do you say that states that?
That's paragraph 3.
Thank you. And who did you get the phone call from?
From Acting Detective Sergeant Burke.
Was that the first time you were made aware of an allegation that there were stolen goods being stored at 5 Nossel Drive?
I believe so, Your Honor. I wasn't part of the investigation prior to that. I was always in the office.
Sorry, Your Honor. She's speaking in a... I can't understand every word she says. Can she enunciate?
She's enunciating. I think the difficulty might be that we have one of those air purifiers.
Also the mic. If she could speak into the mic, I guess.
I don't know that amplifies, but perhaps ask your question again. And...
Sure.
Does that microphone amplify? I don't think it does, no. But just if you could please just try and speak a little bit more.
Yeah, I will. Is that better?
I was able to hear, but I know it can be difficult from where you're standing.
No, because that is drowning the voice. Yeah.
We're going to turn that off, Your Honor.
Yes, thank you, thanks. That's much better.
That's much better. Much, much better. Thank you. Okay. So, once more, at 1:24 p.m., was that the first time you became aware of the allegation that there were stolen goods being stored at Nossel Drive?
Your Honor, yes, that's my recollection.
Is it your statement then, or is it your evidence then, that there would be no police records indicating your knowledge, or awareness, or participation in golf's 2021 prior to the 6th of January 2022? 1:24 p.m.
I don't have my notes in front of me, but from my recollection, I wouldn't be able to say distinctively that that was the exact time that I began my involvement with the investigation on that day.
Well, prior to that phone call, let's say.
From my recollection, I can't recall.
You can't recall if you had previously been made aware of an allegation involving storage of goods at Point Cook and, let me rephrase that, actually, not just that, an allegation involving, an allegation regarding my involvement in stealing goods from consumers under the deceptive representation of transporting their goods.
Your Honor, I was aware that there was an active investigation in relation to this, but I can't recall what time of that day. My recollection, in my notes that I believe is in my statement, is that at 1:24 p.m., I received that phone call.
Okay. So, you were aware then of an investigation that involved allegations of theft and obtaining property by deception against me before that.
That's correct, Your Honor.
So then, when I asked you earlier, what has been your involvement in the proceeding? And you said that you received a phone call at 1:24 p.m. and that was the start of your involvement in this matter. That wasn't an entirely complete and accurate representation then, would you agree?
I believe the question was phrased on that day.
No, it wasn't. Did you think that it was?
That was my belief of the question that was asked of me.
Can I just clarify, Mr. Cooksall? And I really don't want to interrupt, but I had understood the question that you asked the involvement. Then you asked if she was aware of an allegation of you stealing goods, and she said I was aware that there was an active investigation, and then you asked her. When I asked you earlier, you said that you weren't involved, but you understand there's a distinction between being aware and being involved, and maybe I missed something. Maybe I misheard, but...
No, but okay. I said involve later. I said aware first, but...
All right.
But if she's involved, she's aware.
All right, you ask your questions.
Okay. When did you become aware of an investigation regarding? Your Honor, are the two observers still online?
No.
So, let me ask you again. When did you first become aware of an investigation into allegations that I had been stealing goods or obtaining property by deception from consumers?
I can't recall when that would be, Your Honor.
Why does your statement not provide that information?
'Cause I wouldn't be able to provide that information.
Why would you not be able to provide that information?
Your Honor, I had no active involvement in the investigation as I wasn't the informant.
Did you have any involvement in that investigation?
On this date, yes, Your Honor.
Not on, prior to this date. Did you have any involvement in that investigation?
I wouldn't be able to recall, Your Honor.
So, it is possible that you had some involvement in that investigation.
I can't recall, Your Honor.
Is it possible you did? Or you just can't say one way or another?
Yeah, I'm sorry, Your Honor. I had my own active investigations on at the time, so I wouldn't be able to. I can't give the exact date of when I would have commenced assisting with that investigation, sorry.
Your Honor, that's a concession that she had assisted in that investigation.
Just ask the questions.
Your Honor, Ms. McNamara, from what you said, one may infer.
No.
That you, Your Honor. I'm asking the question. May I ask the question first, and then, you can object on her behalf as her advocate?
I'm not anyone's advocate, Mr. Cooksall.
Then please, I would appreciate it if I weren't interrupted as much.
Well, just ask the question.
The manner. Your Honor, I get thrown off with these interruptions. I'm sorry. When Your Honor asked you earlier to clarify a matter, You said, and I'm trying to quote you as accurately as I can remember. I don't remember when I started assisting in that investigation. Would that be an accurate or somewhat accurate characterization of your response?
Not sure, Your Honor. I believe.
Your Honor, I would like the recording of that exchange to be played.
It's not that simple. We can't just do that because it's recorded electronically and it goes through to a
I know it.
hard drive. I can't do that, but
I know it's possible.
so you'll just have to.
Your Honor,
So I can tell you my notes and other people have notes too. And you've got someone assisting you in court that's taking notes.
no, but it's not about that. I want to put that to her.
Well,
But she,
put whatever you want to put, but I don't have capacity to play what was said, so just move on.
at another proceeding, Magistrate Sonnet had in fact indicated that it's possible and offered to do that.
Can it? Can't be done in committal, I'm afraid. I'm not being difficult, Mr. Cooksall. I can't.
This is not fair.
It can't be done. It's never.
She's not.
Well, I'm sorry. Look,
She made an admission. I have a right. Unless the prosecutor accepts that that was what was said roughly, I want.
do you have a note or does your instructor have a note, Mr. Porsadew? I can tell you my notes, but you may not trust them, so.
No, Your Honor. I asked the questions, and
Well, I don't think he would trust anything I would say either, so.
No, but Your Honor also. It will be improper for Your Honor too. From one thing or the other. It wouldn't be fair to her.
I'm making notes, but that's all right. Well, we can't play anything, so ask the next question.
What do you remember saying in response to His Honor's query? His Honor's effort to clarify matters by asking you a question.
That I can't remember when I began my assistance in the investigation.
Thank you. That's exactly what I'd asked you to confirm. Thank you. That will do. So, you don't remember exactly when you began assisting in Golf's 2021. Is that right?
That's correct, Your Honor. My only recollection is the involvement on that day.
Thank you. Okay. Are you aware of more than one investigations into allegations that I have stolen goods or obtained property by deception against? Well, are you aware of more than one investigations involving me that I have stolen goods or obtained property by deception?
Your Honor, I'm only aware of this investigation.
And can you confirm for the record what the Victoria Police Code name for that investigation is?
Golf's 2021.
Thank you. Now, I apologize for being repetitive about this, but this is an important matter, so I want to get this absolutely clear. Back in the second paragraph of your statement, this is not what I was being repetitive about. It's, something's just come to my attention, and I want to get this right for the record. The second paragraph of your statement says, on the 6th of January 2021, I commenced investigation duties at 8 a.m. Do you stand by that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Would you like to change that to the 6th of January 2022?
Not sure, Your Honor, actually. I believe the investigation's called Golf's. Oh, so it could be 2022, sorry, Your Honor. That's an error on my part with the year.
So, you do want to change that.
If Your Honor is happy with me doing that.
Yes, do you want to change that on your statement and initial it?
I see the prosecution has been extremely diligent in going through documents, and also for the record, I don't attribute any dishonesty to that error.
We don't need the commentary. Just ask the questions, please.
Your Honor, this was uncalled for. It's one slight remark. I don't think it was a big deal, especially after the character assassination that Mr. Porchedu put me through. Okay. Anyway, so then, can we take it that all references in this document to dates and times should be accordingly amended, but start 2021 is 2022?
There's only one.
I believe that's.
No, to times are mentioned. That's all the 6th of January 2022. Is that right? All in reference to that.
Yes, Your Honor, it was all on the same day.
Okay. Good. Now, this is the part that I was apologizing about earlier. You have stated, earlier when Mr. Porchedu asked you. Sorry, actually. No, that'll be. I'm going to ask you a different question. Earlier, when I asked you about the extent of your involvement in these proceedings, you said, and your ... His Honor. Sorry, His Honor. Magistrate Williams assisted me in clarifying what you had said, but you said that the extent of your involvement was that you faxed some document to the court and that you corroborated an interview with me.
That's correct, Your Honor.
Okay, but then later when I asked you more questions, you confirmed that you don't remember when you started assisting with Golf's 2021, and if I may just complete. And given that you know that you assisted on the 6th of January 2022, that leads to a reasonable inference that you started assisting in that investigation prior to the 6th of January 2022.
I object to this, Your Honor, about inferences. She knows or she doesn't.
I agree.
No, Your Honor, I haven't. What inferences is he talking about? What inference?
You said that leads to an inference.
Obviously, it leads to the inference that she was.
You're putting that as a proposition, are you?
Yes, I'm putting that as a proposition.
Well,
And Your Honor, I was interrupted in.
well, that happens. There's an objection.
No, it's not. I haven't finished my question.
I am in control of
He's.
objections.
I'm a self-represented litigant. Your Honor, you're supposed to keep it in rein.
He hasn't done anything wrong, Mr. Cooksall.
I'm sure not in the context of your. Anyway, Your Honor, this is not helpful. I haven't slept the whole night. Your Honor knows that. I am still trying to cooperate with this process and I'm being triggered deliberately.
Ask your questions.
Okay. I request that there be no more interruptions. If counsel has until I finish the question that I'm phrasing.
All right, Mr. Porcedieu, can you please wait till the question is finished?
He had finished.
No, I hadn't finished How would you know?
Your Honor, I don't want him to yell like that. If so, can I ask him to move further along the bar table?
Yes.
It's just not right that someone
Okay, Your Honor, he's doing
speaks to me like that.
this again. He's doing this again.
Alternatively, Your Honor,
Can you not point to me?
He shouldn't.
he shouldn't.
Do not point.
He shouldn't be at the bar table. He should be sitting back on the other row. I don't
That's.
appreciate.
I've permitted him to sit at the bar table.
Your Honor, I don't appreciate him being so close to me and yelling
Well, can you move cause?
and yelling
There's lots of space.
and yelling like that.
Your Honor, I'm not yelling.
I'm going to permit him to remain at the bar table. He has computer equipment that he uses.
Well, I just ask him to move along, please. I don't want him so close.
Your Honor, can he move?
Just please. I don't want bickering. Just ask the questions.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And wait until the question is finished. But look, I don't think you had. But sometimes it's hard to tell. I accept that.
Thank you, Your Honor. So, Ms. McNamara, earlier you stated that you don't remember exactly when you got involved in Golf's 2021. Is that correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
I think you've asked that. Sorry to interrupt, but I think you've asked that now 5 times.
Yes, Your Honor. I'm re-establishing it so the connection is there after the interruption.
Well, you've got the answer.
Good, and you do remember receiving a phone call from Ms. Burke at 1:24 p.m. on the 6th of January 2022. Is that right?
That's what's reflected in my statement, Your Honor.
Yes, and you remember that. Is that right?
I wouldn't be able to remember the exact phone call, but that's what's reflected in my statement, in my notes, Your Honor.
But you remember having the phone conversation with her on that day.
Do you have any recollection independent of your statement?
No, Your Honor, I wouldn't be able to give the entire conversation back.
Okay, but you do remember that on that day you had a conversation with her.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. So, is it then reasonable to infer that you started assisting in Golf's 2021 prior to the 6th of January 2022? Because let me complete the question. I'm not done yet. Because you don't remember the date when you started assisting, and you do remember assisting on the 6th of January 2022.
Your Honor, as I stated before, I began assisting in the investigation on that date, but I can't recall when my involvement in the investigation commenced. The reason I remember that phone call is because it led to all of this.
What is the distinction between involvement?
Mr. Cooksall, can I just say this? It's And I know you're self-represented, but it's not really a proper question to ask a witness whether it is reasonable to infer something. That's a question for me based on.
Okay, thank you. I accept that. Ms. McNamara, is there a distinction between involvement, the way you're using it, and assisting in the investigation the way you're using that phrase, and let me just complete the question? In relation to your coordination in reference to Golf's 2021.
You might want to ask that again.
Okay, you've used two expressions to explain your connection with Golf's 2021. You've used the expression involvement and you've used another expression assisting in the investigation. Firstly, is there a difference when you use one expression over the other, and if so, what is the difference?
Am I right to answer? Your Honor, we're part of a crew, so we're aware of each other's investigations, but I'm not necessarily involved in them. And then on this date, I was called and requested to assist, which is when I then faxed off documents to court and attended a recorded interview.
Thank you. I'm not asking for a distinction between the use of the term awareness and involvement, or awareness and assisting. I'm saying that previously, you've used involved in the investigation and you've also used assisted with the investigation. Did you mean something different when you said involved as opposed to assisted with the investigation?
Your Honor, I need some clarification as to what context involved was used in.
Okay, so one of the first questions that I asked you was about your involvement in Golf's 2021, and you said that you faxed some documents to the court on the 6th of January 2022 and you corroborated a record of interview. Then later, when His Honor was trying to assist me in getting some clarification from you, in response to something that His Honor had asked, you said that you don't remember the exact date when you started assisting with the investigation. Now, when I asked you about involvement, you said the 6th of January 2022, but you didn't remember when you started assisting with the investigation. So, what is the difference between assisting with the investigation and involvement in that context?
Or is there a difference?
Not necessarily, Your Honor.
Okay, so to assist with the investigation in this context is the same as being involved in the investigation. Is that right?
Again, it depends on the words being used, and it is.
No, as I explained to you, you used it in this very way, the way I said you used them.
Your Honor, I don't believe so, but like I said, it's different in different contexts and different sentences.
In this way context, and what do you mean by you don't believe?
That I don't believe that there was a difference.
Okay, so in this context that I illustrated, there is no difference then.
Your Honor, I'm not too sure, yeah.
Yes, it's all a bit sort of cryptic, Mr. Cooksall.
No, Your Honor, it's not.
Because
I can clarify it if you. So let me.
Sorry, can I? I do raise the objection. What's the relevance?
That's not the point, Your Honor.
well, this
What is the relevance?
question does need to be relevant.
It is relevant.
Well, in this.
Self-evidently relevant.
Well, I'm struggling with it.
Not self-evidently to me, and I maintain.
Okay, if you can sit down, I can explain.
Well, I am entitled to make my full objection.
You've made your objection, and I'll hear from Mr. Cooksall.
So, Your Honor, firstly, credibility. Assisted with the investigation is the same. Sorry? Can we have the witness go out when I'm explaining what the purpose is?
If you could please step outside the court. Thank you. We'll let you know when we need you. Are the parties? It's now 4:15. I was proposing to sit till 4:30.
I'm happy to sit.
I'm happy to sit longer and…
But we've sat. I know you are. But we've sat till late every day this week, I think.
Your Honor, it will prejudice me if at this critical moment…
No, I'm not suggesting that we stop right now, but
I think the witness is all right, Your Honor.
Yes, well, if the witness. It's a matter for the witness and court staff as well. It's the Thursday before Easter. Are you?
Can we go on until 4:30?
You don't have to. Really don't have to.
Can we go on until 4:30 and then call?
We can go to 4:30. I must say, I've got a personal commitment myself, and I'm not going to.
Yes, if the objection doesn't take too long and yeah. So, Your Honor, this is the relevance. I can prove on documentary evidence that Mr. Oni has lied about when Golf's 2021 began. Other members of the investigative team have also lied about that. The reason why they have lied about it is because in the earlier part of the investigation, there was exchange with Consumer Affairs. When Consumer Affairs was asking Victoria Police to back off the investigation because they had no jurisdiction. So, it is my suspicion on reasonable evidence that Miss McNamara is misrepresenting when she became involved because she also wants to conceal the true length of the investigation Gulf's 2021.
But what does the distinction between involved and
Because I have caught her in the lie.
assisted?
I've caught her in the lie.
How on earth is that a lie?
Because she said she doesn't remember when she started assisting with the investigation after saying she remembers that she got involved in the investigation on the 6th of January 2022. Your Honor, come on.
I don't agree.
It's self-evident.
Not to me.
Well, Your Honor, that may be because of other issues, but I think it is self-evident.
Mr. Porsadew?
I maintain my objection of relevance.
Well, I can see the relevance of when the witness became involved in the investigation, given what was, but the distinction between, I think, really focus on what matters.
I want to ask this question. It's not gonna take too long.
What's the question?
What, if any, is the difference between her use of the expression involved?
You asked that.
No, I want more clarification. I just want to ask that once more. I want it.
You already asked it.
Your Honor, there's nothing. If the question is relevant, there's nothing.
Well, I don't think it is relevant. I think when she became involved is relevant, but
Your Honor, this will hamstring. This will ham.
if you're assisting, you're involved.
Thank you.
So,
I thank you for ruling that.
that's...
Okay. Thank you for ruling that.
I'm not ruling anything. It's just a matter of English.
Thank you for confirming that. On that note, I will not ask further because Your Honor has said this.
Well, she said it.
Yeah, but you have said that to assist is to be involved, which is true. I agree with that.
That's what I said.
Absolutely. Thank you.
So, what's the point?
Only because of that. I will not ask more questions. Otherwise, I would have, but Your Honor. Let's bring her in. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Are there any formalities required, or can I just? Thank you.
No, you're still on oath. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Ms. McNamara, for coming back. So earlier, when you said that you didn't recall exactly when you started assisting with the investigation, is there a reason why your statement does not cover the period? The entire period of your involvement in the investigation starting from when you had started first assisting in the investigation.
Your Honor, my statement says I began assisting on that day that was relevant to the job. I can't recall anything further from before then because I never actually had much to do with it.
You said, had not much to do with it, just now.
Your Honor, that's why I used the term I'm aware of the investigation. It doesn't necessarily mean I was part of the investigation.
But you did assist with the investigation, as you've admitted previously.
Yes, Your Honor, on January 6th.
No, you said that you don't remember when you started assisting with the investigation.
Your Honor, I believe this has been said about quite a few times now that I can't really recall what I said before either.
Yeah, so my question was this. Why does your statement not mention the date on which you first started assisting with that investigation?
Like I said, Your Honor, I had begun assisting on January 6th, and that's when my statement commences.
So, you never assisted in relation to Gulf's 2021 prior to the 6th of January 2022. Is that what you're saying?
Your Honor, like I said, I was aware of the investigation. I can't recall anything prior to this date.
But you did say earlier that you don't recall when you started assisting.
Did she say that?
Your Honor, I can't quite remember.
Yes, she did say that.
All right, well.
She did say that, exactly that. And she admitted it afterward. She accepted that. And she just said it's because she didn't have much.
The question that was asked, can't recall of involved.
Sorry.
Involved. But anyway.
No, assist. That's why I wanted to confirm that involved and assist, which Your Honor thankfully did. But anyway. So, but also. One of the first responses that you gave me earlier was that you didn't have much to do with it. That's why you didn't mention your involvement prior to the 6th of January 2022. So, is there a reason why? whatever little you were doing before the 6th of January 2022. You didn't specify that in your statement?
Your Honor, I had my own active investigations in that period and I wasn't the informant for this one. So it's because you weren't the informant that you did not specify the details of your involvement in Gulf's 2021 prior.
Sorry. Please let me complete. I'll pause for a longer period when I finish the question. It'll help you understand when I'm done. So, because you weren't the informant in this proceeding, you didn't think it was necessary for you to detail your involvement in Gulf's 2021 prior to the 6th of January 2022. Is that right?
Your Honor, I don't believe I said it wasn't necessary.
I don't think that's a fair question, Mr. Cooksall. I'll tell you.
Your Honor.
I'll tell you why, because she said she doesn't really remember. So how can she really answer that?
But she remembers that she has assisted. Your Honor. We shouldn't have this exchange right now. And Anyway, we're very close to 4:30. Your Honor. I say, we continue at a different time, because I don't want to start a new question, and then be in a position where I have suspicion.
How many more questions do you have?
Well, again, Your Honor, I can't tell at this stage, because I've received new information about the involvement and so on. So, what I request, Your Honor also, can we have the witness go out when I'm making?
Your Honor, I think we should keep going with the questioning.
Well, yes,
Your Honor, it's for 25.
How many more questions have you got, Mr. Cooksall?
Plenty more. Can we have?
We're on a time limit there, so I'm not going to give you free rein.
Your Honor, I'm not asking any improper questions. Also, can we please have the witness here while we're discussing this? It's not proper.
It's not discussing anything.
We're discussing whether or not you put a time limit. It affects the way she answers the question. She can take longer to answer the question.
Just ask your questions. We'll keep going a little bit longer.
Sorry. Until what time, Your Honor? I'm not going to be able to finish all my questions today for Ms. McNamara.
Finish this topic.
I was done with this particular line of question. That's why I said I didn't want to.
What's your next topic? You don't have to tell me what's your next. How long will your next topic take?
Plenty long. It's not gonna finish in 5 minutes.
Plenty long?
Yes. I want to play some video recordings as well, which are several minutes long in themselves.
Could you finish this witness in half an hour?
Number.
How much longer do you think you'll need?
I don't know exactly, Your Honor, and I'm not exactly.
Not exactly. Counsel are notoriously hopeless as well, but you're even worse than most counsel in estimating time.
Absolutely.
So, you agree with something at least?
Absolutely. I'm the first person to accept that.
I want to.
Your Honor, can we not have this discussion?
What I was considering is 2 hour. No, it's got nothing. It's nothing. Prejudice.
It does, Your Honor, 'cause she can take longer to answer the question. And, also, there's no benefit in her staying here.
No, you're being difficult. I was going to limit you to 2 hours, so there would still be time. I think that's reasonable given it's a one-page statement.
Well, Your Honor, it's what is not in the statement that is going to take time.
I understand that, but nevertheless, on any view.
Well, we'll see. Your Honor has indicated that 2 hours would be a reasonable time and…
Yes.
Your Honor obviously will not form a concluded view about that, because you don't know how things will.
But that's with all these witnesses, I would have thought 2 hours was enough.
No, Your Honor, that is not a reasonable.
But…
Yeah.
So, Mr. Porciju, I don't know that there's much point proceeding further. It is nearly 4:30 and Mr. Cooksall says he has material that he wants to play, so I propose to excuse the witness. I'm very sorry you have to come back. You will be notified of the next date, and I know you probably have leave and courses and so on, but I'm hopeful we can resume this matter when I return from leave, which I think is 14 or 15 April. Anyway, I'll discuss those matter with counsel. Now, you're excused. You must not discuss your evidence with any other witnesses, and it's most important that you remember that. You must not discuss the matter with the prosecution. You understand that as well?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. You're excused.
I'm just about to indicate as a courtesy to you, Miss McNamara, you've already commenced the process of giving evidence. Cross-examination, is that so?
Yes.
And you previously identified the statement made by you for purposes of inclusion on the handout brief?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Your Honor, there is a person on the audiovisual link.
There is a PLT student. Amanda, if you could please switch on your camera. Mr. Cooksall.
Okay. Ms. McNamara, do you remember the quote, or in his Magistrate Williams, advising you at the conclusion of the proceedings on the 28th of March 2024, that you remained under oath and that you were not to communicate with any witnesses in this proceeding until you had concluded giving evidence in this proceeding?
Yes, Your Honor. I wasn't to discuss the matter with any of the other witnesses.
That's not what His Honor had said. I can bring up the proceeding transcript. So this is a transcript that has been produced by the court.
Hasn't been produced by the court. I'm sorry to clarify, Mr. Cooksalls. It hasn't been produced by the court and has been produced independently.
By that what I mean is it's been produced to me by the court or provided to me by the court. And I refer, just bringing up the relevant portion of the. Okay, so this is page 607. I'm reading from lines 12 to 16. You must not discuss your evidence with any other witness. And it's most important that you remember that you must not discuss the matter with the prosecution. You understand that as well. You reply and you say, "Yes, Your Honor." So what was said by His Honor was that we were not to discuss matters concerning your evidence? And you were not to discuss matters, or you were not to engage in communication about this matter with witnesses.
I'm so sorry to interrupt, Mr. Cooksall, but this is not trying to interrupt you. Do you agree that I said to you on the last occasion you must not discuss your evidence with any other witnesses? And it's...
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you agree that I said to you on the last occasion you must not discuss the matter with the prosecution?
Yes, Your Honor.
I put to you, Ms. McNamara, that yesterday, at around 4 p.m. as I walked out of the courtroom with Ms. Sue and Mr. Ansell, I overheard Mr. Perry address a handful of people assembled around him in relation to the next steps to be taken in this matter and how they ought to accept in their stride the developments of the proceeding yesterday, and you were part of that group. I then...
Sorry, there's an objection.
I didn't have an objection of not being flagged in dispatches, Your Honor. But the question is so long and so imprecise, it needs to be broken. It doesn't help us.
And also, a witness can't comment on what you may have overheard.
I wasn't done, Your Honor.
But Mr. Cooksall, it's not a proper question to ask a witness what you heard. You need to think about how you phrase.
If I could complete the question.
No, the question is improper. It's too long. It needs to be broken down.
Okay. So I put to you, Ms. McNamara, that I witnessed you.
She can't comment on what you saw.
You can ask. Did you speak?
Okay, sure. Thank you. Did you participate in a group discussion about the events of the proceeding on? Well, yesterday with Mr. Perry and some of the other prosecution witnesses that were in court at around 4 p.m.
Your Honor, I was told what time to be here, and I left.
I put to you that you were part of a discussion yesterday where Mr. Perry was addressing Mr. Olney and some other members connected with the prosecution about how they ought to accept the matters that unraveled yesterday and what next steps they ought to take. Discussion of that sort. Okay. I put to you that you were part of a discussion yesterday in a group comprising Mr. Perry, Mr. Olney, and some other members of the prosecution in which Mr. Perry discussed the events of the hearing yesterday and next steps that were to be taken.
You've already asked that question, Mr. Cooksall.
No, I haven't.
I maintain the objection. It's full of generalizations. No fact witness can agree with or not agree with.
No, I put to you, Ms. McNamara.
I am not.
I'm rephrasing the question.
All right.
I'm rephrasing the question.
Ask a different question, Mr. Cooksall.
No, I'm rephrasing the question. He said it was too long. I'm making it shorter.
Well, it's full of generalizations.
It's not general.
The objection. I'm just indicating what the objection was. All right, the objection was it was full of generalizations, and there wasn't a proposition which a witness could properly agree with or not.
Okay. I put to you, Ms. McNamara, that yesterday you engaged in a group discussion with the group including Mr. Perry and Mr. Olney, where this matter was discussed beyond what time this proceeding Olney versus Cuxell's out was discussed beyond a discussion of what time you had to be in court the following day.
Your Honor, the only discussion that I engaged in relation to this matter was finding out what time I need to be here today, and I left.
Did you overhear any other matter being discussed about this proceeding?
As I just stated, I was only present to find out what time I need to be here today, and I left.
How long were you standing in that group?
I couldn't tell you, Your Honor.
Could you give a rough approximation?
No, because that wouldn't be correct.
Your Honor, I would like the witness to go out of court for a moment, please.
Why?
I can't say that in front of her. That's the whole point.
I won't object.
All right, thank you. If you just step outside momentarily, thanks very much.
I do say, Your Honour, on the basis it may be relevant to cross in general, or specifically.
I understand.
Yeah, I wish to subpoena the CCTV footage from yesterday, because it will clearly show that Ms. McNamara is either being misleading or—
You said you had recordings, mister.
I never said that, and that's another. Your Honor, I will address that in the recusal thing.
Sorry, I thought that you did. So if you have recordings, why don't you put the recordings to her?
Okay. Your Honor, that was most improper. Your expressions were. Well, Your Honor, it's also the expressions that you make. This is conduct beneath the dignity of the bench.
Well,
and it also doesn't give you.
Obviously, I've misunderstood. Yet again, Mr. Cuxell. So.
Okay. Can you point? Let's have a transcript produced of this matter. And Your Honor can point out.
Take some time for this court to get a transcript.
Okay. I would like a release of the audio recording of this matter. Your Honor can. Okay. So they can be released. The OPP gets the transcripts without any conditions.
I'm not permitting you to.
There was no basis that, Your Honor, was an attempt at impeding the hearing of my application.
You can't do that.
No. I wanted to subpoena.
No, you can't do that.
But I will wait until the production of the CCTV footage because it will clearly show that she was there for more time than would be necessary.
I am not adjourning the matter.
Okay. So I'm not participating unless I'm threatened with a subpoena with contempt.
Any more questions for the witness?
I'm not participating.
Any more questions for the witness?
I'm not participating.
Re-examination, Mr. Perry?
No, Your Honour. I won't have any re-examination on what's been indicated.
Doesn't have any more. Sorry, if Mr. Cuxell does not have any more.
I have more questions. I have more. You haven't.
I'm putting you on notice, so I'm going to excuse the witness, unless you want to ask.
Well, you cannot make a decision, Your Honor, because you haven't decided on your recusal application. I clarified previously that I was not relinquishing any right in relation to that. I am not. Your Honor cannot make any ruling in this matter until Your Honor has given reasons. That's the law.
Well, you seem to want the law to apply when it suits you.
No. I had gotten assurances. The transcript will show, and I had clarified, yes, that I will not relinquish any right in relation to the recusal application. You cannot rule in the matter. Yeah, but I also have a right to. I cannot be bound by a decision that Your Honor makes right now. That's the law and that's my right. So,
Your Honour, the point of concern is that the accused will not be bound by a decision you make right now, but by his own tactical decision.
Yeah, you need to tighten authority for that. He's saying that equitable estoppel applies in this matter. That's absurd.
I believe I use those words.
This is a criminal proceeding. I'm a self-represented person. You're saying equitable estoppel applies.
Look, if you have other questions to go on with, I will consider your application for a subpoena at the end. End of the day, but I suggest you move on with your other questions. But you don't wish to ask any further questions ongoing?
I wish to ask the questions, but I want Your Honor to clarify whether or not I will be allowed to issue this subpoena.
I'm not clarifying that. I have no power to clarify that, you say.
Okay. Well, then we cannot move on at this moment. The questions that I have of the...
I'm going to excuse the witness unless if you don't want to ask any further questions.
I have lots.
You're right to ask questions.
Your Honor cannot make that ruling today.
Not a ruling.
It is a ruling. It is a ruling.
I rely on what I previously said. Please don't interrupt me. I am not in any position to give or seek to give an undertaking as to subsequent availability of this witness. Dependent on ruling. Really has to be today. Or not at all.
I will not be able to finish the cross-examination today anyway. On a previous occasion, His Honor had given me 2 hours with this witness.
Well, Mr. Cooksall, so it's 3:30 of the... We haven't had all day.
No, I haven't.
Well, we would have had all yesterday, and half of today.
Your Honor did a number of improper things which gave rise to recusal applications which are not even complete yet. But anyway, I will ask some more questions. Is the time? Yeah, I will use the time again, not relinquishing any rights in relation to the recusal or accepting that Your Honor can rule in the matter until the delivery of reasons. Ms. McNamara, on the 6th of January, what was your involvement in the
6th January? What year?
The 6th of January 2022. What was your involvement in the production of the affidavit that was affirmed by Ms. McNamara Fairgrieve and was submitted to the Magistrate's Court of Victoria in support of the search warrant that was executed at my residence?
Your Honor, I faxed a search warrant off to court.
Did you have any other involvement in the production of the affidavit?
Your Honor, I believe this was covered off last time, but Your Honor, I faxed the warrant off to court as it was sworn off by McNamara. Sorry, affirmed by McNamara, I believe. And that was the end of my involvement.
Sorry? What? What was your involvement again?
I faxed the search warrant off to court.
Did you have any other involvement in the production of the affidavit?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. What time approximately did you fax the search warrant to the court?
I will just refer to my notes, Your Honor.
No, I don't object to that.
Your Honor, I believe it was approximately 2:26 p.m. I am missing the page of my notes. That was just the fax transmission.
Okay. I have, Your Honor, in front of me, documents that were produced by Mr. Olney in response to a subpoena issued by the Magistrate's Court.
Don't talk to me. You need to. If you want a question to ask.
I want to tender this document into evidence through Ms. McNamara. I want to show this to her.
Not her document.
This is produced by the court to me.
No.
It's a part of this proceeding.
You said it was produced.
It was produced to the court by Mr. Olney, and then the court released it to me.
No, she can't comment on another. It's hearsay.
No, it states the time that the...
You can put it to her. Things. It depends. And then you're not at the point where you can just tender a document through her.
Why can I not?
Well, it's not her document.
This is a document that has been produced by Victoria Police in relation to her work in this matter.
Well, there are ways of using that document.
Is Your Honor stopping me from putting it into evidence through her?
At this point, I am, because I don't know what it is, and she hasn't agreed with anything.
Okay. So, Ms. McNamara, on the 7th of July 22, Mr. Olney, the informant in this proceeding, stated in response to questions raised to him via subpoena issued by the Magistrate's Court that the search warrant application was faxed to the Sunshine Magistrate's Court at 2:30 p.m. Would you agree with that characterization?
Your Honor, I've just found my notes, and I've got 2:09 p.m. warrant faxed to court.
2:09 p.m. warrant faxed to court.
That's correct, Your Honor.
Okay. How did you get the copy of Ms. McNamara Fairgrive's affidavit?
She provided to me, Your Honor, to be faxed with the warrants.
How did she provide it to you?
I can't recall, Your Honor. If she gave it to me physically or scanned it.
When you say scanned it, you mean emailed it to you?
Yes, Your Honor.
Could you refer to your notes and inquire as to how that document was provided to you?
Your Honor, That's not in my notes.
Could you refer to your emails and see if it was provided to you via email?
Your Honor, it's not in the emails that I have in front of me.
Do you have all the emails that you had received from Ms. Limara Fairgrieve on the 6th of January 22?
Not in front of me, Your Honor.
Are you able to access your emails on your mobile phone?
No, I'm not, Your Honor.
Your Honor, I would like the witness to be able to access her emails, so as to answer precisely whether she had received.
That email should have been provided as part of the disclosure.
They should have been, but they have not been.
Your Honor, I provided Mr. Oni with all my emails. So if it's not there, then I must have received it in person.
So, okay. Thank you for that clarification. Approximately how long before sending the document to the court had you received the affidavit from Miss Limara Fairgrieve?
Your Honor, I have to repeat the affidavit before I can send the warrants to court.
Sorry, could you repeat your response?
I have to have the affidavit before I can send the warrants to court.
Yes, so that's what I'm saying. How long before sending it off to court had you received it from Ms. Limara Fairgrieve?
Like I said before, that's not in my notes.
Do you have any recollection about that?
No, Your Honor.
So, you have just indicated that because you have disclosed all the emails in relation to this matter and it is not in the bundle of those emails. The affidavit of Ms. Limara Fairgrieve. Therefore, Ms. Fairgrieve would have provided it to you in person on the 6th of January 22, sometime before 2:09 p.m. when you sent it off to the Magistrate's Court of Victoria. Is that right?
I believe so, Your Honor.
Okay. Where were you at the time when you received the affidavit from Ms. Limara Fairgrieve?
I would have been at the Werribee Police Complex, where I faxed the warrant from.
So, your notes state that you had faxed the warrant at 2:09 p.m. Is that right?
That's correct, Your Honor.
When were those notes created?
On the day, Your Honor.
And they were created by you?
Yes, Your Honor.
In real time, not at the end of the day?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Are these notes handwritten or were they typed?
Handwritten, Your Honor.
Okay. I have a copy of the email that you have forwarded to Mr. Olney, and Your Honor, this is part of the court book, the disclosure of Victoria Police internal correspondence. It's page 81. Could the witness be provided with a copy, please?
You have a copy if you want to cross-exam.
No, I was. Your Honor told me that I don't need to bring the court book pages or the handbook. Hand up brief pages. All the others I have to bring.
If you want to put them to a witness, you need to.
No, you had specifically told me that to put to the witness I will not need to bring the court book pages.
I don't recall saying that. I don't have that. Do you have that?
No, Your Honor.
If you want to put a document to witness, you should bring it to court.
No, because you already have a copy and you had said that you would make that available.
The witness doesn't have a copy.
Okay. The court has physical copies. Can the court provide the... Can the court...
Stand down for 10 minutes. I will go and...
Able to locate an electronic copy.
I have an electronic copy in front of me.
Email the document to my clerk and we'll print it out.
Thank you.
Just committal coordinator. Ask them. Okay. So I'll wait for that until then. But I'll continue with the questions in the interest of saving time. So, how many documents... Sorry. How many pages long was Ms. Limara Fairgrieve's affidavit?
I'm not sure, Your Honor.
That's not in your notes.
No, Your Honor.
Okay.
Police generally make a note of how long an affidavit is.
Okay. Do you recall how many documents you had sent to the court as part of the search warrant application?
I couldn't tell you how many documents, but when we send things to court, we have a fax cover sheet, the warrants and the affidavit.
Is the warrant? Can you describe for me the warrant document?
From the top of my head, Your Honor. The warrant document has the address for searching for the senior sergeant that's applying for it, and the items that we're looking for.
Okay. Do you remember Ms. Limara Fairgrieve's affidavit to have any exhibits?
No, Your Honor. It wasn't part of an affidavit.
Okay. During your cross-examination of me with Mr. Olney.
Sorry?
Sorry. Not interview. Sorry.
That's all right.
Sorry, that was a Freudian slip. Your Honor, during your on 6th of January 2022, when you interviewed me along with Senior Constable Olney, you stated that you had in fact drafted the affidavit of Miss Limara Fairgrieve.
I wouldn't have said that, Your Honor.
Okay.
Can I please see the transcript?
It is in the transcript? Yes. Can you get me? Sorry, I'm corrected. It said that you had stated that you had sent the affidavit to the court. Mr. Olney has said that he had drafted it. Now, Mr. Olney has. Okay. When was the? Sorry. No, she has clarified that, so that's fine. When was the last time you saw Mr. Olney? On the 6th of January 2022, before sending the search warrant application to the Magistrate's Court.
At some point during the day. I wouldn't recall, Your Honor, when I last saw him.
Okay. Let me be more precise then. On the 6th of January 22nd, Mr. Olney, Sergeant Burke and Mr. Stevens or Senior Constable Stevens left. Sorry, Mr. Olney. Should not be in the courtroom. He's a witness.
He is the informant.
Yes, but he's also going to be a witness.
He's a party.
I will speak to him.
He's been in the case.
Okay. I would have liked him not to be here because it creates the possibility. I mean, these questions will be put to him and he's obviously seeing her responses.
Mr. Perry?
We could make an inquiry whether he's prepared to leave court voluntarily.
Yes.
Might well be prepared to do so.
Yes.
Would have been nice to know earlier.
Yes.
Would Your Honor let me leave the bar table?
Of course.
No, he's indicating that he's leaving.
Wait outside. Thank you.
Thank you. So, on the 6th of January 2022, after Mr. Olney left Wyndham Crime Investigation Unit offices at Werribee Station for my premises for reconnaissance, did he return to your offices before 2:09 p.m. or whenever you sent the affidavit to the Magistrate's Court?
Your Honor, I can't recall Senior Constable Olney's movement. I will have no note of that.
How many people did you speak with about the search warrant application prior to its being faxed to the Magistrate's Court?
Your Honor, I wouldn't be able to recall that either.
Can you check with them? No. Go. Sorry. Could you repeat that?
I wouldn't be able to recall how many people I spoke to either, Your Honor.
Do you remember having a phone conversation with Sergeant Naomi Burke?
Yes, that's in my notes, Your Honor, and in my statement.
Okay. Can you tell me who all are mentioned in your notes in relation to discussions about the search warrant affidavit?
Acting Detective Sergeant Burke, Inspector Matthew B.
Inspector Matthew.
B-U-I. Yep, B-U-I.
Okay. Those are the only two people.
That's what's in my notes, Your Honor.
Can you advise me what your discussion with Inspector Matthew B. was?
Your Honor, he approves the risk assessments for us to attend a search warrant. He was the inspector that day.
How did you become aware of his approval of the risk assessments? Sorry. Your Honor, 2 observers have joined.
Yes, if the observers can turn on their cameras, please. There's a tile. Still a tile there labeled observer. If that person could please turn on their camera. Thank you.
How did you become aware of Inspector Matthew Bowie's approval of the risk assessment?
Your Honor, I spoke to him on the phone. I then sent the paperwork off via email and then received his approval through the Interpose system, which is reflected in my notes.
Why was the email not produced to me?
Your Honor, I'll have to have a look through but it may not have been put through an email, Your Honor. I have said, sent, yes, and via email, with approval on Interpose.
Your Honor, I need a copy of that email. It's a contempt of court. It's also...
You call for the email.
I call for the email to be produced to me right now.
Do you have that email there?
Not in front of me, Your Honor, no.
Do you undertake to provide it if there is one?
Yes, Your Honor. There won't be any issues with that email.
Do you also undertake to provide me with your complete notes? Because I have not been provided with her complete notes.
Yes.
Complete notes in relation to the events of the 6th of January 22 and the 7th of January 22 and your involvement in the only proceeding.
Your Honor, my notes have been tendered to the court. I've got them in front of me already, for the 6th of January and the 20th of January.
Have you provided all of your notes in relation?
Yes, Your Honor.
I have not. So, Your Honor, there are, even in the document that she has, there are big chunks that are redacted.
They might be completely related to different matters. You might want to ask her about that.
Okay. But, what time is it? Okay. The notes that I have been provided start recording your activities from 5 p.m. on the 6th of January 22.
No, Your Honor, there should be 8 a.m.
I don't have. Where? Okay. Your Honor, I have a copy of the notes that have been provided to me. I have brought 3 copies of it, so I can provide one to the court. I need 2. Yeah, this if you could, and this is for the court.
Thank you.
So the notes that I have been provided start from 5:11 p.m. They do not start from 8 a.m.
Your Honor, there's 2 sets of notes. There's my notes during the interview, which are the ones that have just been tendered. And then there's the notes from my daybook, which should have all been tendered to the accused.
No, they were not.
Do you have any objection to us? How long are the notes from your daybook?
That's the 6th of January. 2 pages, you say. And then that's the 20th.
So it is a total of 4 pages?
Yeah, 2.5, really.
Your Honor, I never.
Do you call for those notes, Mr. Cooksall?
Sorry.
Do you call for those notes?
Absolutely.
Objection?
No, Your Honor.
You're happy to provide those notes?
That's fine, Your Honor. Yeah.
We will take. Can we please make copies for pages? Maybe make 3 copies.
So, in the interim, if I could continue and Your Honor, I confirm that I have. Your associate has now provided me with a copy of the document. Has one been provided to the witness?
No,
The document that we had sent.
it is not for my clerk to provide.
No. The email that we had sent for the document to be printed to be provided to the witness.
No, you need to provide it to the witness. We can provide it to you.
Okay. All right. So I'd like to present this document to the witness. 1 section. This is, the document contains an email exchange between Ms. McNamara and Mr. Oni with details of the facts that she had sent to the court. And it. So the email was sent by Ms. McNamara to Mr. Oni on the 5th of July 22.
Remember, you're asking questions,
Yeah, I am.
not giving evidence yourself.
Sure.
All right.
Do you agree? I was going to ask at the end. Do you agree that the document before you, the first page of it, is an email that you had sent to Mr. Oni on the 5th of July 22 at 3:33 p.m. the first document?
The first document is a facsimile. So do you mean the second document?
Maybe they've been stapled the other way. Yes. One of the documents is an email that you had sent to Mr. Oni on the 5th of July 22 at 3:33 p.m.
Yes, I believe so, Your Honor. I got a copy of that here myself as well.
Okay. Now that document had forwarded an email that you had received from the Magistrate's Court of Victoria at Sunshine at 4:30 p.m. on the 6th of January 22.
That's correct, Your Honor.
Okay. And along with that email, the documents that you have been provided include a document that contains details about concerning the facts that you had sent to the Magistrate's Court on the 6th of January 22. Is that right?
Where is that stated, Your Honor? Where does it say with the issues?
I can't.
I said if there's any further issues, please contact me, but otherwise
No. There's detailed timestamps in relation to the facts that were sent.
just.
Can I have a copy of that document as well? So I can.
You want it back?
You have it electronically, don't you, Mr. Cooksall?
Yeah, but the way it's been stapled, I can't see which page.
You have it electronically. Why can't you see it on your computer?
Yes, but I need to see the sequence of the pages.
It's the facsimile on the front page and the next one is the email with the transmission. And then,
I just want to get the sequence of the pages. That's...
Sequence has been the same on the electronic version?
No, because they've been stapled. They were loose sheets and then they've been stapled in a way that is different from
The way they are printed out, presumably.
Anyway, I have the email as the... Okay. So one of the documents in there is a document that is the receipt of the fax that was sent from writefax@police.vic.gov.o at 2:32 p.m.
Yes, Your Honor.
to yourself, and the other one is... So underneath that information is information that indicates that on 6th of January at 6th of January 2022, at 26 p.m., a fax had been sent to the Magistrate's Court of Victoria in relation to the search warrant application.
Yes, Your Honor.
That's to 26 p.m., not to 09 p.m.
Yes, Your Honor. There's a delay in the fax machine because it's all internet connected.
Okay. Do you have any document that verifies that you had sent the fax at 09 p.m.?
My notes, Your Honor.
But do you receive a copy at your end when you fax a document?
No, Your Honor. We only receive notification when it's successfully been faxed. Which is that transmission?
You seek to tender this document, Mr. Cooksall?
Yes, I do.
Exhibit A.
I believe it's already part of the disclosure material, Your Honor.
Your Honor, I might briefly have the opportunity to.
This is the email that Miss McNamara had forwarded to Mr. Olney to provide him the details of.
Mr. Cooksall, can I just... There's a total of pages.
Yes.
On the front cover sheet.
Hum.
Which is inconsistent with the number of pages. Is that a forensic point that you want?
I do, yeah.
Yeah, I see. Well, I will. Perhaps I'll allow Mr. Perry to see that document.
Exhibit A email.
Yeah.
That can be properly noted.
Yes. Exhibit A. How should I describe it? Fax message?
In the electronic documents, there's a page.
Your Honor, I request that the witness be excused for a moment. This is in relation to matters in her notes.
But you're right. Okay. Any objection? No.
There came a legal argument. I have no objection.
If there is some form of legal argument that would be prejudged, that would cause difficulties. That's okay. Yes. If you can just step outside momentarily, I'm sorry about that.
Does Your Honor have access to the notes of Ms. McNamara from the 6th of January?
I don't have them. I probably do have them in my chambers. I can go and get them. I have a copy. I don't have an electronic version. I've got the hard copy version that was given to me by...
I was never. This is the first time I've been given this.
Yes.
This is a breach of the disclosure of...
That may be the case.
No, but, Your Honor, I've been sabotaged.
Is this something to do with the questions you want to ask?
Absolutely, because...
All right, make your submission. I'll rule on it.
Okay. Firstly, Your Honor, at 2 o'clock it would help if Your Honor had access to the notes.
All right, we'll just wait. We'll get them in a minute.
Would it help you if I gave you this to copy them?
His Honor's got a copy. Does anyone else need a copy?
No, but His Honor doesn't seem to.
Yeah, I do have it. So this is... Yep, got that.
Okay.
Do you need time to look at it?
No. I want to raise some matters there. So, Your Honor, if you look at the entry at 2 o'clock...
Is this to do with the question you want to ask? Or...
No, a separate matter that I want to raise. At 2 o'clock. An entry in the notes indicates that Miss McNamara...
What page?
First page 6, January 22nd.
208 is the first page. I haven't got...
1408?
1408. Okay. Sorry. 1408. Compiled op order. Risk assessment and warrant.
Yes.
So on and so forth. Ms. McNamara has previously given evidence that her sole involvement in this proceeding.
But that's the point you can make?
No, but Your Honor. I could not subpoena these documents.
No.
No, I'm saying all these documents that she produced. I should have been given those documents. She has sent emails to different people.
It's part of the committal process.
No, it's not. Your Honor, this is part of the hand-up brief.
You can make that criticism when you come to cross-examination.
No, it will definitely sabotage me and prejudice my interests in relation to...
Mr. Cooksall, can you please proceed with your cross-examination? If there are points you want to make in your cross-examination, make them.
No, but I want to have the right to have her reappear after I receive these documents, It's ridiculous.
Please proceed. I will hear you.
No, I want the copies of the emails that she has sent to different people.
You need to ask her about that.
No, Your Honor. This is hand-up brief material that has not been provided to me. This is Section 110E of the Criminal Procedure Act.
Material, Mr. Cooksall.
Your Honor, this was available when the brief was compiled.
Mr. Cooksall, ask her questions.
I want the right to have her back here because it is a huge forensic disadvantage if I have no means of cross-verifying the veracity of what she's stating.
I really just want to know with some clarity where we're heading. The accused saying, but having seen this material, he says, which he should have been given earlier, but he's disadvantaged in putting questions to the witness. He wants time, therefore, to prepare whatever possible need be, and for that reason wants her to be available to return.
I think that is what he's saying.
That's what I understand.
No, that was going to be my second point. My first point is that this material refers to other documents that she has produced and exchanged with other people, including the email.
You can ask her about that document.
No, but I need that document.
You can explore it with her, then make your application. Then when you know.
I've already explored it. She said that she discussed the risk assessment associated with executing a search warrant at my residence with.
Risk assessment? What is it?
No, I'm forensically disadvantaged by not having that document. It would have been better for me.
It's not a document.
Sorry.
Ask her about it.
She has said that she's emailed it. She has confirmed.
Well, ask for it now.
Yes, but what I'm saying is I should have the right to cross-examine her after I have access to that document, because...
Mr. Cooksall, please ask the questions and then see what's produced. All right.
Your Honor, to clarify, she has said that she had emailed the documents in relation to risk assessment to Inspector Matthew B.
Yeah.
Now, unless she has memorized the content of that correspondence, I don't even know what document, what questions.
Ask her about it. Why don't you ask her about it?
Because I am disadvantaged if I'm asking her questions without that document. I'm in a better position if I ask her questions about that document after having that document. It's an irrefutable, commonsensical fact. If I have the document in front of me, I can ask.
Produce the document.
She has said she doesn't have a copy of it right now. I've already asked her for it. You have asked her for it.
She said she will produce it.
Yes, and I want to ask her questions after I see the document.
I'll hear you about that.
No, I can't. I don't even know what questions to ask about that document without seeing that document.
I'll hear you on that point at the end of the day.
Okay.
Thank you.
In terms of timetabling, Your Honor.
I was going to ask about that. It's now 4:00.
But also, I need some time to review this before I can.
Mr. Perry's talking. Mr. Cooksall.
I don't wish to be unfair to the accused.
No.
But if given the estimate he gave the time he might in photo spend cross-examining this witness, there's simply no hope.
No.
Getting familiarized. The pragmatic solution.
Yes.
Might be to hold her here.
Yes.
Get the physical email to me, and have time that he asserts he needs to read a physical document and prepare further questioning.
Well, I was proposing to sit a little bit longer to see what we can get through. Now that she's going.
She said...
No, I can ask other questions, but I'm simply saying I should have the right to question her again after I have those documents.
Mr. Perry is being very fair. Mr. Cooksall, as he.
There are other questions which don't raise this particular. I would simply ask that they be asked.
Yeah, I'm happy to do that. I'm simply saying.
Yeah, but Mr. Cooksall, what I've said is I'll hear you on it. Okay, I'll hear you on that application.
But that, Your Honor, concerns me because it implies that Your Honor may not agree to have her produce later after these documents.
But you haven't finished. As Mr. Perry just said, there's no hope of you finishing your cross-examination in half an hour.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, I want to continue. I'd like to.
Unless we're all
Happy to continue right now.
right about that. That's the impression I got.
No, absolutely. Happy to continue.
And I'm hoping we can all sit till 4:30.
Yep, that's happy to do that.
Is that okay with you, Mr. Perry? It's been a long day for everyone.
It's been a long.
It's been a long 2 days.
But I haven't slept in tonight's. So, you know.
I would not dream of taking advantage of.
No, I'm fine. I'm fine.
No, I don't. No one wants to do that.
But I'm in your honor's hand.
No, I'm happy to cross-examine her.
We've had a witness waiting around.
Yeah,
We'll see where we are.
yeah, let's do that. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Just make a note, Mr. Cooksall, of the documents that you have called for.
Yes. So 1. I would like to subpoena the CCTV.
No, you can call. You may not need to subpoena.
No, the CCTV footage from the...
No, not talking about the CCTV, talking about the documents.
Okay. So 1. I want the emails that were exchanged rather between Inspector B and Ms. McNamara. Matthew B. and Ms. McNamara in relation to the search warrant that was to be executed at my residence on the 6th of January 22. That's the first thing then all.
You wouldn't have any difficulty in producing those?
No, Your Honor.
Would you be able to provide them to me at the end of today?
Your Honor, I will get back to the office first. But yeah, I'm sure I'd be able to search for it and find it.
Thank you. I would also request that you provide me with all interposed entries in relation to your work in the only proceedings.
The Cooksall proceedings. They are Cooksall proceedings as far as they are concerned.
Okay. Cuxall proceedings then.
In this case.
Yes, Cuxall proceedings then.
Your Honor, that would have all been part of the stuff that Olney's already.
No, it is not.
Part of the initial show.
Your Honor, it's not been provided to me. These interpose. I had nothing about her work. Completely flying blind, Your Honor.
There's no independent work of mine. It's all part of the same.
Perhaps if I can ask this question on your behalf.
Sure.
Did you provide your entries onto the interposed database to Mitchell Olney as part of the disclosure material?
I didn't provide them because he has access to them. They're his investigations that he would have provided them.
Do you have any problem in providing your entries in the interposed database to me?
I believe. I don't think that'll be an issue, Your Honor, but I don't know if there'll be specific entries that relate to me specifically about this. That's all.
Yeah. Do you have any problems in providing those?
Well, the problem would be they don't exist, then that would be the issue.
No, but whatever entries you have made, if you haven't made any, that's fine. But if you have made any entries in the interposed database in relation to Gulf to 021 or Cuxall proceedings, do you undertake to provide them to me whenever you get a chance today?
Your Honor, if they haven't already been provided, then yes.
So, no. Don't worry about if they've been provided earlier or not. Do you agree to provide me with any entries that you have made in the interposed database in relation to Gulf 2021 or the Cuxall proceedings whenever you get a chance today?
Your Honor, I don't believe that'll be an issue, but I would still like to see what has already been disclosed.
Why is that relevant? You just provide me with whatever entries you've made. It doesn't affect anything that has happened previously, and nothing that has happened previously affects your ability to provide those to me.
Well, I believe there's been discussions with VGSO, so I will need to discuss it with them as well, to make sure that I'm providing the right things.
No, but how? So,
There might be discussions with VGSO in relation to any privileged claim or anything like that.
okay. Then, can you provide those in the redacted form? Just provide all the entries, and
I think interpose entries.
are not about VGSO discussions?
Interpose entries sometimes involve police members receiving advice to see whether there's any. They're going to claim privilege or so on.
Yeah,
That's perfectly.
Your Honor. They should have been provided in redacted form. You need. I would request that she provide all the entries. If she has concerns over privilege, she redact those entries, and we can have that discussion in court later.
I'll discuss with the VGSO, as I am sure there are already discussions. I am not. I just don't want to step on any else's toes.
Your Honor, this is absolutely improper. We don't even know whether her notes have been provided to me in the interposed database. This is scandalous stuff, Your Honor. No, but why can she not provide it, if she has a concern?
She has agreed to provide it.
Well, then that's fine. Okay. If she has a concern over privilege, she redacts it.
Am I wrong?
Yeah, I'll have a conversation with the VGSO.
No, Your Honor, she provides.
Mr. Perry.
Sure.
The proposition is being put. Have a look at the material. There's a claim of privilege or an arguable claim of privilege redacted. Problem is, that's a matter to be determined by the VGSO.
Yes.
And the witness will need to contact them,
That's right.
as what they say is or might be privileged.
Yes.
Before she can engage in any useful product of redaction, she can't, of her own volition, take a decision of a punt, if I can put it that way, Your Honor, and get it wrong.
No, sometimes witnesses will refuse to answer questions for that reason that they just don't.
The safe way is for her to undertake a search to see if such records exist and to see if a VGSO has any claim of privilege attached to all or any part of the documents she would be prepared to disclose and, if necessary, redact.
I was using a shorthand way of saying the same thing, I think, Mr. Perry, but you've articulated it far better than me.
Considerably more than both.
Now, I thank Mr. Perry for that clarification. It has clarified matters. I say this then, Your Honor. I would like Your Honor to rule that. No, Your Honor, if I may complete my application. I would like Your Honor to rule that the VGSO or the informant is to, can you stop interrupting me, please, is to provide copies of all entries in the interposed system in relation to this matter, with redactions in relation to any objections that they want to raise about legal privilege or public interest immunity. But what I simply wish to identify at this stage is how many entries there were in the interposed system so I can compare.
I think the witness is prepared, subject to getting advice from VGSO, to provide you with redacted copies of the interposed entries.
So she's undertaking to provide.
Yes.
I have been party to any of the conversations about this. I just want to discuss it with them first.
Okay. But at the end of the day, you will provide all the individual entries in the interposed system in relation to these proceedings that are accessible to you.
Sorry, she's prepared to provide her entries.
Okay. That you have made yourself either in unredacted form or redacted form after consulting with the VGSO, and you undertake to provide that with. To be by, can we say Thursday? I know you're not. Your Honor is not going to require VGSO to work overnight. They're not the accused in the proceeding. But can we say Thursday, Your Honor?
No, Your Honor, I'm actually out of the office all day tomorrow. I've got other matters, and then I'm going on leave.
Your Honor, timetabling is always such a delight. And allowing for the best for all parties, perhaps phrase as soon as practicable, it might be a sensible way of.
Yeah, and, Your Honor, I also require copies of all the documents that she faxed to the court on the 6th of January 22. What has been provided to me is 4 pages rather than the 10.
You need to ask her about that.
I did ask her how many pages, and she said, okay.
But if you want her to undertake to provide you with the documents, seek the undertaking.
Sure. So, Ms. McNamara, I referred you to what His Honor had marked as Exhibit A earlier. The 2-page document printed on both sides.
I believe that's been taken from me.
Yeah, I don't have it now.
Yes.
I'm happy to give this to you.
I think you have mine.
Yeah, I am happy to give it to you.
Mr. Kuxel.
So, on the first page of the document, you have handwritten that the total pages you were faxing over to the magistrate's court were 8. Can you confirm that?
I can see that, Your Honor.
Do you undertake to provide me copies of those 8 pages that you have faxed?
Your Honor, that would be the warrant and then the affidavit. So I'll have to liaise with the VGSO about the affidavit as well.
Your Honor, it's been provided to me in incomplete form. They're refusing to accept that it's incomplete. They're not saying that there's legal privilege or public interest immunity. I simply want those 8 pages. I've been given 3 of.
So warrant and the affidavit adds up to 8 pages?
I would have hand counted it myself, so I can't say it's exactly what in front of me, but it's the warrant.
Your Honor, may I just get a copy? Then, no problem producing it to me.
That's why just the affidavit. I need to speak.
No, 8 pages. I need the 8 pages.
Yes. So that would have been the warrants. And the affidavit.
But an affidavit has been produced to me, Your Honor, in response to the subpoena. So, can you give me an undertaking to provide those 8 pages, please?
Sorry, that would just be the warrant. And that wouldn't be 8 pages.
But you've written 8 pages here.
It will be the facts that I've sent off to court.
Yeah, whatever 8 pages you sent off. Can you give me a copy?
It may not be 8, though. It may be the 10 because I may have written that incorrectly.
Okay. So then, can you send me the 10 pages that you had sent to the court?
Like I just said to Your Honor, it'll be the warrant and the affidavit. So I just need to liaise with the affidavit so I can provide the warrants.
You sent the fax?
Yes, Your Honor, that's the transmission that's.
And it's 10 pages.
10 pages. Okay.
Yeah, so can you? So she's saying she's not sure about the affidavit, but the affidavit has been produced to me in full, is the official position? So then, she should have nothing to check with the VGSO about that.
She doesn't know that.
But Your Honor, the prosecutor can clarify that.
She doesn't know what's been.
Okay, the informant can clarify. Sorry, the prosecutor can clarify that, perhaps. Your Honor, I require an undertaking for those docs. Your Honor knows that. Your Honor can.
I know. What?
That there has been no part of the affidavit that was produced in support of the search warrant.
No, but the witness doesn't know that.
But Your Honor does. Can Your Honor confirm to the witness?
Are you prepared to provide Mr. Cooksall another copy of the affidavit?
Yeah. Again, once clearing with the VGSO then yes, sorry,
Your Honor, can Your Honor clarify to her that officially in this proceeding, the VGSO position is that there is no objection taken to the production of the affidavit. Your Honor had said that on the 28th of.
If that's the case in the discussion.
So I want her to produce it without having any conditions or caveats on it. Okay. So will she produce it to me today like the rest of the documents that she's producing, because she's going on leave later?
Your Honor, these are things that the informant has access to, so.
That's right.
But Your Honor, the informant has famously not been reliable. Your Honor knows that. I think half the police department knows that by now because of the personal emails that I've sent to them. So, Your Honor, it's not an unreasonable request. I have not received the documents. It is.
Mr. Perry.
The difficulty we are gonna have is this. Informant has started to give evidence?
Yes.
They've been directed not to discuss evidence or matters pertaining to the case with anyone. Now, VGSO can be emailed. They don't have much of a social life and shouldn't be able to contact them. But the informant under an interdiction, it
might not have been within this witness's possession. No, but she has it. She has access to it. She has just confirmed she has access to it. But she wants to check with the VGSO. Your Honor, this is wrong.
Access to potential information is not the same as possession of it.
That doesn't.
There are certain rules which apply to police, and it's not as simple as.
No, she's not taking any objection to that. Your Honor, it's improper for hypotheticals to obstruct the disclosure of evidence which is purportedly already disclosed. Your Honor, it's not unreasonable for me to request that the court require her to produce those documents. These are documents that she faxed.
I'm not quite sure what the problem is.
I don't have 10 pages. I just want the 10 pages.
The other problem is if she contacts the informant. She is.
No. She provided those to the informant herself.
Please, if she contacts the informant.
She doesn't need to.
To obtain that material.
She doesn't need to. She provides.
Mr. Cooksall, can you please allow Mr. Perry to make his submissions?
I'm clarifying. Your Honor, I have the answer. He's asking a hypothetical question. I'm saying that.
Can you please allow Mr. Perry to make his submission?
Really? Quite hope so. To me is that if in the course of seeking to give an undertaking or honor the undertaking, if he contacts the informant and of necessity is requesting particulars of evidence or matters of evidence, that puts him in breach of the very order of his court.
No, that's a hypothetical. Your Honor, I object. Because the email and those documents are in her sent box.
That's incorrect, Your Honor. They'll be in the fax. So they were faxed. So they go through a fax transmission, which means the physical documents would be with Senior Constable only.
No, but you have on the 5th of July.
Forwarded him the transmission.
Okay.
In the email.
All right. Your Honor, could Your Honor later, at the conclusion of the proceeding, make an order that Mr. only provide those documents, the 10 pages?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay.
Do that.
Thank you. All right. So that's fine. Now, can you advise me what you recall in relation to the documents that you had prepared for the assessment of Inspector Matthew B. Risk assessment of, in relation to the search warrant that Mr. Matthew B. undertook on the 6th of January 22, before he approved the application to be made? So, Ms. McNamara has, in her notes, indicated that she prepared several documents in order for Mr. Matthew, Inspector Matthew B., to undertake a risk assessment about the application for a search warrant for my premises.
In respect.
And I'm asking her what, if at all, does she recall regarding the content of those documents and the work that she undertook in producing them?
What documents did you prepare for that purpose? What do you remember the contents of each war?
I think I asked the same thing. Yeah.
No, I don't. But that might have a clarity which assists.
Okay. What both of us said in different ways. Did you gather that?
I understood Mr. Perry's way. Yes.
Can you clarify what you understood?
I don't recall what. So, yes, it says compiled op order, risk assessment, and warrant. I don't recall those documents because it was in January 2022.
Okay. Can you give me some insight into, if it is possible, into what a typical risk assessment document portfolio of this sort would involve?
I can't recall, Your Honor. It varies at different offices, and I've worked in 3 different offices now.
Is there a standard template?
No, there's not, Your Honor.
May I complete the question? Is there a standard template for the risk assessment documents that are provided to an inspector or a senior police officer in order for them to approve the application for a search warrant?
No, Your Honor, it varies at each office.
When you say each office, you mean each station?
Each office, so each unit.
Crime investigation unit?
Yeah. Or family violence unit?
No, but we're just talking about search warrants on, let's say, residential premises, to be more precise.
There's no, it changes.
When you say it changes, do you mean it changes over time, or it changes in relation to different suburbs?
Like I just stated, it varies on each office.
So, you're saying that the documents that are deemed to be necessary in order for an inspector of Victoria Police to perform a risk assessment regarding the feasibility or the appropriateness, rather, of applying for a search warrant for residential premises varies depending on which office is making the application. There's no standard benchmark.
I wouldn't say benchmark. The benchmark varies. Sorry, can you just clarify which document you're talking about?
So what I'm asking you, whether you're aware of the standard sort of documents that would be provided to an inspector of Victoria Police, when it is expected of them to perform a risk assessment before they approve the making of an application for a search warrant that is to be executed at a residential premises. Do you understand that question?
No, I don't.
Okay. So before an inspector approves the making of an application for to perform a risk assessment, do you accept that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Is there a standard portfolio of documents that is normally provided to assist an inspector in that situation to undertake the risk assessment?
There is an op order and a risk assessment, Your Honor.
Okay. And what are the typical inclusions?
I think Mr.
To be helpful, actually, Your Honor, it's rare, but it does happen. Let's ask, is your expectation of the minimum number of documents and their nature?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying.
Is there high-ranging?
Necessary or minimal. So, what would be the standard information that is included in the risk assessment document?
Whether anyone has any warning flags for being violent towards police members.
Okay. And what is the standard length of a risk assessment document?
It varies. There's not really a standard length.
Is there a typical range?
Your Honor, the search warrants we apply for vary from different ends of their seriousness. There's not really. I couldn't say that's either 1 or 10 pages. There's no typical.
What are the minimum requirements that would typically need to be met before a risk assessment? Before a document can satisfy risk assessment criteria for the grant of a search warrant application.
An inspector decides that, not me.
Do you have any view about what minimum requirements they would look for before approving an application?
Your Honor, I'm not an inspector, so I can't answer that.
I'm asking you if you have any views about that.
No, Your Honor, because I'm not an inspector.
Okay. And you have no recollection of the content of those documents that you had sent to Inspector Matthew B.
No, I don't, Your Honor.
But you have undertaken to provide those documents to me today.
I don't believe I've undertaken that.
She has, Your Honor.
Not today. I have?
Yes. Yes. Today when she gets back to the office. You said after I get back to the office.
I thought that was in relation to the interpose. And that was a discussion.
No. Matthew B. That was before. Much before.
Emails sent between. Documents called for. Emails sent between.
Ms. McNamara and Matthew B. So, you've undertaken to provide those documents later today.
The emails, correct.
Yeah, with the documents.
With the attachments.
With the attachments, obviously.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Now, sorry, dragging on.
There are some matters we need to raise with counsel. I think we might leave it there for the day.
Can I just ask?
Sure.
Just to complete this line? Yeah. Do your notes indicate what time that email was sent to Mr. Matthew B. or Inspector Matthew B.?
1409.
And when did you say?
1409.
Okay. So, when you told me earlier that you had faxed the search warrant application to the Magistrate's Court at 09, how is that possible? If you're sending the documents to Inspector Matthew B. for his approval before a search warrant application can be made at 09, how are you simultaneously sending the search warrant application to the Magistrate's Court at the same time?
Because inspectors can make inquiries themselves and they can decide to make a verbal approval.
Sorry. So, you're saying that at 09 you sent him all the documents and at the same time you sent the search warrant affidavit as well to the court. Same time.
1408 is when I received the. So I spoke to Inspector Matthew Bowie, who was happy to receive, and then he's given me verbal approval. And then 1409 is when they were emailed to him and the warrant was faxed to court as my note.
So he gave you a verbal approval without looking at these documents?
I would have to look back, Your Honor, but I believe so.
Okay. And this phone call that you had with him when he confirmed that you may apply for the search warrant, how long do your notes indicate that phone call to be?
I don't have a length recorded, Your Honor.
From your estimation?
I don't know, Your Honor.
Okay. Do you recall Mr. Matthew B. to immediately approve the application for a search warrant? Or did you have to discuss the matter with him for a few minutes before he approved it?
I would have discussed it with him, Your Honor, but I can't recall the length of the conversation.
Do you remember him expressing any apprehensions or raising any concerns about the search warrant application?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. And do you? So, Miss Fairgrieve then, do you know if Miss Fairgrieve also had discussions with Mr. Matthew B. on the 6th of January 22 in relation to the search warrant application?
I can't comment on her conversations.
I'm asking you if you have knowledge of her conversation with Mr. Matthew B.
I have no knowledge, but I can't comment on her conversations again.
You don't know if she spoke with him or not?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Do you have any reason to believe that she may have?
I don't know, Your Honor.
Do you suspect that she may?
That would be a question for McNamara.
Sorry. I'm asking you if you suspect, or if it would be reasonable in the circumstances that the deponent of the search warrant affidavit would have discussed the matter with the inspector who was approving the making of the application.
I can't answer that question. That's up for that's.
Okay. Can you please try to understand the question?
I understand the question.
I have not completed the question. As per normal Victoria Police policy, when search warrant applications are made, does the deponent of the affidavit in support of the application typically have any communication with the inspector? Sorry. Let me complete the question first, before raising an objection. Typically, or is there a guideline that requires them to have communication with the person who's approving the making of the application?
No, there isn't, Your Honor.
Do you know of any Victoria Police Manual policy that applies to the making of search warrant applications?
No, Your Honor.
Is there any other internal policy or rules or regulation that governs them, or protocol that governs the making of these applications?
In what way?
It sets out the process and the minimum requirements or a list of documents that need to be considered.
Not that I'm aware of, Your Honor.
Okay, just 1 minute, Your Honor. I'm just thinking if I've. Okay. Now, earlier, when you were asked what your involvement was in this matter on the 28th of March, and again today, before these matters came out, and you said that the only involvement that you had in this matter was sending off a fax to the Magistrate's Court of Victoria, do you think that that statement was accurately and completely representative of your involvement in this matter? After considering all these issues that we've discussed in relation to your preparation of documents and discussions with Mr. Matthew B.
I believe I also said I was involved in the interview. I'm the corroborator for the interview, so I wouldn't have said that I was only involved in the faxing of the warrant.
That was not the question. Had specifically asked you on the 28th of March, and I can refer you to the transcript about the extent of your involvement in Golf's 2021 and the only proceeding. And you repeatedly asserted that the extent of your involvement was limited to sending off a fax to the court. But in fact, you have prepared documents for the risk assessment.
I don't agree. That's what I said that I only had involvement in.
Okay. Your Honor, I should be able to refer her to the transcript in relation to this.
I remember there was a back and forth, but...
Transcript is the transcript, Mr. Cooksall.
No, but I want to put to her to revive her memory the specific things that we discussed.
What purpose?
For reviving her memory.
But for what purpose?
To give her an opportunity to prevent or clarify that.
She clarified what? She's clarified.
No, Your Honor, I have a right. I have a right to endeavor to revive her memory. This will prejudice my application against her later on.
That's not what this is about. This is a committal proceeding.
Your Honor.
Not you. Complaining about somebody.
No. In this proceeding, I suspect that she's lying deliberately. And I want to give her an opportunity to revive her memory, so I...
If you want to put a proposition to her from the transcript, but...
Yeah, I do want to do that.
You said you have a couple of more questions.
No. This is the last question. Last question. I just want to put the transcript, and then we'll continue after I get the documents. I just want to put the excerpts from the transcript to her.
I'm just not sure what the point of that is.
Your Honor, I have a right to do this, if I may just.
Well...
And you've already allowed me to do this, so...
She said what she did.
No, Your Honor. It's appropriate that I raise the specific.
All right, well, I'll see if it does.
Okay, so this is the 28th of March.
Apart from gotcha thing or something like that. I don't know what it is.
Well, Your Honor, it would be good if Your Honor did not form prejudgments about this.
All right, well, let's see.
And it's for them to raise objections, by the way.
Wait to hear the questions.
Thank you. Okay. So I refer. All right. This is page 583 of the transcripts that were provided to me. 583 of the transcript of the hearing on the 28th of March 2024 that was provided to me by the Magistrate's Court.
Put the question.
And I'm going to read a quote from the transcript. You advise me if it matches your recollection.
May I please have a copy of the transcript?
Perhaps. What? I'll ask Mr. Cooksall to do it. I think it's only going to be a couple of questions.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you, Mr. Cooksall,
To read them.
I ask Mr. Cooksall to read them in this way. Question. Moving the question. And did you answer? And then the answer. And then ask the witness whether she agreed that she gave those questions, were asked those questions and gave those answers.
Yeah. Question. This was raised by me to you on the 28th of March. Can I ask you what your involvement in the only proceeding has been? Answer. I was a corroborator for the recorded interview. Question. Is that the extent of your involvement in the current proceeding? Answer. I was made aware of it. My statement says I was made aware of the stolen goods at the Point Cook address. I assisted with faxing documents off to court. And then I was present in the recorded interview. Sorry. Could you repeat that? This is something that I asked you? I couldn't hear what you said before I participated in the interview. Would you repeat what you said and then you say this? So, I was advised there were stolen goods at the Point Cook address. I assisted in faxing paperwork off to court and I was present as a corroborator at the recorded interview. You said that. Then I ask you, you said that you were advised that there were stolen goods at Point Cook residence. Your response, that's correct, Your Honor. Question, when were you advised that there were stolen goods at the Point Cook residence? Your answer, my statement states, at 1:24 p.m. I received a phone call. Then this goes on into further detail. I'm trying to extract from you any.
Do you agree that you were asked those questions and gave those answers?
The only issue I have with that, Your Honor, is that I've been incorrectly quoted from transcripts already today. That's why I requested a copy of the transcript.
Sorry. I reject that. You've not been incorrectly quoted from transcripts.
I have a transcript here. Take it from me, it's accurate.
Okay, Your Honor, then I agree that I said that.
Okay, and do you accept that on the 28th of March, I made various efforts and put multiple questions to you to elicit from you the various ways in which you had contributed to the Gulf's 2021 investigation or the Cuxall proceeding?
I recall being asked the same question different ways, multiple times.
Did you understand those questions?
From memory, those times where I didn't understand the question.
Sorry. Let me complete the question. I have not. Did you understand my intention on 28th of March 24th to have been aimed at extracting from you all the ways in which you had contributed to Gulf's 2021 investigation and Cuxall proceeding?
Well,
Can we ask? Some sort of clairvoyant faculty. She can be asked whether she understood the question, to require her to provide information as to X, Y, and Z.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking.
Well, that's been her understanding.
No, I'm asked. Okay, sure, I accept. First of all, I didn't. It wasn't. Let me just rephrase it for efficiency.
I don't want it. I really, truly do not want to interrupt, and I'm trying not to.
I appreciate that.
But if you could.
Yeah, no, I am.
When you frame your questions, just try. Try and be.
I am trying.
Simple propositions with one, as Mr. Perry often teaches people, just one proposition per question.
And I have. I'm grateful for the assistance that...
Interrupting.
No, I understand. You get better answers that way.
I accept that. So sorry. How did you phrase it again?
I'm sorry. It's my.
Oh, did you understand the question?
Great.
Question you about X, Y, and Z.
Great. Do you understand? Sorry. Did you understand my questions on the 28th of March 24 to be aimed at gathering from you all the information you could provide regarding the ways in which you contributed to the GOLF's 2021 investigation and the only proceeding?
Your Honor, I believe I struggled to understand all the questions last time. Like I'm this time as well. But the ones where I provided answers, I believe I understood those.
Did you understand me? Sorry. Did you understand that I was seeking to get from you all the ways in which you had assisted in the Gulf's 2021 investigation and the only proceeding, or the Cuxall proceeding?
I can't comment on what you were trying to do.
No. Did you understand me to be seeking that information from you?
Like I stated that a lot of the questions put to me were confusing.
Do you understand the questions to require you to identify?
Okay. Did you understand the questions to require you to provide information regarding all the ways in which you had contributed to the Gulf 2021 investigation and the only proceeding?
The questions that I understood and commented